So at the beginning of the episode, Solo is talking with Juliet in silo 17, and he says there are 50 silos.
Where are you from?
I came from another silo.
What silo? There's 50.
50.
50?
50.
Yeah, this is 17. The closest ones are 15, 16, and 18.
So there's 15, 16, and 18
Okay.
are the closest ones, and they're in silo 17 right now. So there's 3 nearest neighbors, and there's 50 total. So I started thinking, like, why? Why are there 50 total, and how are they arranged? So my first thought was 5 by 10.
Okay.
I imagine for construction, this would be easy. You make a row of 10, you make a row of 10, you do it 5 times. And if you're here on the corner, then yeah, you would have 3 nearest neighbors. Although I guess the nearest neighbor is these two, and the next nearest neighbor is this guy. Or if you're along the edge, then yeah, you could have a nearest neighbor. I immediately started thinking about crystal structures. Yeah, so I mean, 5 by 10, but this is also weird. Like, why would you make it this pattern? I mean, I guess I could also do a 2 by 25. You'd get these nearest neighbors and these nearest neighbors, but in terms of a construction company, like we make a long strip of silos. That was weird to me. I don't know.
I guess if you're in the plains states, like, it's flat level, not much difference in geology between one place and the next, either of these would work. I guess.
So I guess if you had like some type of assembly line structure where you had this big old machine that dropped the drills, and then you drilled down to the silos, you'd drop one and then move over a little bit, drop the next one, move over a little bit, drop the next one. But that seemed pretty. You'd have to have just the right strip of land. Why wouldn't you centralize them, block them together, so that way the silos could communicate with each other? I don't know, or take up the least footprint possible.
And I think we see down in the down deep, they actually the people who constructed the silos just leave the machine down there.
Right.
So there's really no like mass production part of it. They just make 50 drills and just drill down and then leave them for some reason.
Right.
So,
but finding a strip of land that suits this seemed kind of weird to me. Also, 5 by 10. Why is it rectangular? So I thought 50. Well, 50 is 49 plus 1, and 49 is 7 squared. So maybe they're arranged like this. Ooh, let's put that. So this would be like the least surface area to the area, so the least perimeter to the area, so you can get them packed in tight. But then this is also weird because to make it 50, you'd have one kind of just hanging out by itself, like a strange configuration.
It is interesting that Solo says there's 3 nearby silos. So if it's these rectangular configurations, that means we're on the edge somewhere.
Could be. Yeah,
That's kind of weird.
Could be, yeah. I'll come up with another configuration, but let's get there piece by piece.
Okay.
My next idea was 6 by 8. This is still fairly compact. I would not need a large, like ideal long strip of land, but you can still get these 2 that are kind of hanging off there. So I thought, okay. Maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. Maybe I'm stuck in this square lattice structure. Okay. So let's do a shift. Let's make some hexagons. Yeah. Right. So I just take each row, alternate, shift them over a little bit, and I get a hexagonal close back, which makes sense in 3D. But in 2D, we can reduce this down to a rhombus. And so in a rhombus, if you're this doesn't make sense either. So you had 3 neighbors, 15, 16, and 18. And there's no position here where 3 is your nearest neighbors. Everywhere in here, even along the edges, you'd have maybe here, 1 nearest neighbor, 2 nearest neighbor.
Maybe that
3 nearest
middle
neighbor.
on the left there. There's
This
3.
one?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's possible. It's possible that he's on the edge.
Yeah. But it's weird. That's a low probability silo placement.
Right. And this is also kind of the same in terms of rectangular. It's short in one direction, long in another direction. You get a short in one direction, long in another direction.
Yep.
Also weird shape. So then I thought about it. Hey, instead of having this hexagonal close back where there's a silo in the middle, let's remove that silo in the middle. And I got to this thing.
Okay.
So there's 6 silos, and it's going to get real ugly to plot and make all these circles. So let's just switch. Let's switch to a single hexagon represents the 6 silos. Okay, so there's 2 configurations of this. There's a hexagon where there's nothing in the middle, and so this is like the center of all the silos that we're going to build out. And then there's also a configuration where there's a silo in the middle, and then all the hexagons expand outward from there. And so in that case, the smallest number of silos is 13. So you get 1 in the middle, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Got it.
Okay, but he said there's 50. So let's start adding up.
Okay.
So if I take first, let's do where am I going with this? Yeah. So let's take the silo in the middle example.
Yep.
Let's add 1 layer of more silos on the outside.
Makes sense.
So that's 13 on the middle. Plus, okay, let's just count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so that's 8 here. And I can do that 3 more times. So 3 times 8, that's 37 total. Not quite there.
I like it. Yep.
We'd have to add another ring in order to get up to 50. Okay, so let's try that. If we add another ring, we get to 50 pretty quick. We only need these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more orange hexagons, and we're already get to 50, which is weird. Like, why would you stop at 50? You would just continue it out, and then you'd have a nice. I mean, that's still not even a symmetric case. I would expect silos all the way around.
Yeah. Right. So I have a question. The big motivator for this particular configuration is that the majority of the silos have 3 nearest neighbors.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So let's show that. It's here. So this silo, if you're in the middle, you can say my nearest neighbors are this as 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And that's true for everyone in this structure.
Yep.
So for this person's perspective, they have 1, 2, 3 nearest neighbors.
Yep. And so there's a couple on the ends, but the square configuration, the majority of the silos have 4 nearest neighbors. So the fact that Solo said 3 nearest neighbors is now motivating this like hexagonal benzene ring thing situation.
Exactly.
I see it.
Maybe it's a hexagonal structure, but in this hexagonal structure, we're indirectly saying, hey, there's some type of symmetry that feels right, but then we break the symmetry by saying if we need to stop at 50, we don't get that final ring to finish out.
Right.
Quirky, strange. I even tried moving around this last hexagon, but that's even worse. You get this little gap here.
Yeah. Is there a configuration of 50 that looks snazzy, or is it just?
There is not. so there's one more. So we explored the configuration where for all of the silos, there's one central silo, one command silo that's like really in the middle. But what if we had instead started with like a nothing in the middle? So the inside 6 were the central ones. So here's the central 6, and we'll switch back to hexagons. And so this is the smallest. So if we have 6 here and we add 1 ring of hexagons outside, we get 24. It's still not enough not to get to 50. He says there's 50. Okay. All right, let's get to 50. Let's add another ring. So we add another ring, and we almost make it.
I see. That's cool. If that would have been cool
because that would have been
54. Okay.
Right. So then if it was 54 silos, this would have been the smallest amount of area in which they could pack in 54 silos. But it's not. They're short by 1, 2, 3, 4 silos. I don't know.
Yeah. Damn.
So, I don't know. I don't know why there's 54 and what pattern they're arranged in. In fact, if we go to season 1, episode 10, like the last scene of that episode, I don't know what this is.
That's hodgepodge, right? I don't see any pattern.
I mean, maybe there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then we can translate that. We can slide it over to 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a square there.
Okay.
But then if we go this way, this doesn't look right. This is a rhombus or something. This is not a square anymore. Like this silo should be closer to this silo.
So it looks like to me in this particular picture here that there's no regularity or like crystal shape to the silos.
Right. There's no pattern.
Yeah. Which means is it a geological consideration? Is it just like they randomized the positions for some reason?
Right. I think if we were to go back to our Silo season 1 episode 10 episode, I think we speculated that maybe the ground conditions are unfavorable. So maybe this silo should have been closer, but then if you're going to go through bedrock, like don't do that. Don't try to drill through bedrock. Just move over a little bit and drill over there.
Maybe if we were
maybe.
to see a satellite photo and with a geologist, we could see like, oh, they're along that crease right there, and they're along that crease right there, or something.
Right. Right. Crease meaning like there's hard rock and then hard rock here. So then they put the silos in the soft rock where you can actually drill.
Right.
Or maybe even the opposite. Maybe you want to go through hard rock, even though it's painful to get through, but then it's a more solid structure.
That could
I'm not
be
a geologist.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think they're not even grouped. They're just kind of around in whatever pattern. So then my next thought was, why 50? And so this is based in America. Like they use like inches and stuff on their measuring tape. And so maybe there's one silo for every state. And so they're like, apocalypse is happening. Like send 10,000 of your representatives to come live in a silo. And so maybe there are themed silos, right? Like, is there Texas? Is there a Texas silo? Like, is like the same thing, but everything's just bigger?
Yeah, I guess there would be a Montana silo. Everyone's wearing cowboy hats.
That's right. There's like a California silo, and it's all just tech bros and like avocado on their food.
I guess what, Maine silo, where they're just eating lobster all day. They have crayfish ponds in their in their silo for some reason.
There's like a New Jersey silo next to the New York silo, and everyone in the New York silo like sits on the New Jersey silo.
And the New Jersey silo is just polluted and nasty and gross, and nobody likes it.
But they're like, we technically own the Statue of Liberty. Like, yeah, you do, but nobody associates that. That's fine.
Yeah,
maybe
there's the West Virginia silo without dentists.
That's right. And they have the cleanest population problem because they're like a tight knit family. Just everyone in their family. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why they're 50.
Yeah, and then there's the Rhode Island silo that everybody forgot about.
That's a state.
What is it?
I guess it is a state. Okay, we can. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
We'll Google it later.
We'll Google it later.